Morning, gang. Hello, hello. Okay, we're going to have a kind of repeat stream here. What did we do a couple of days ago? I lightly persuaded this area and then cleaned it out during the rest of the time. And we'll do the same thing today on a different part of this block. We'll just spend a few minutes tapping lightly, clearing out some of these areas, and then I'll switch to the quiet chisels and do the rest of the stream that way. It's a Saturday morning here today. Saturday in Asakusa. There will be nobody else visiting, just me. So we'll start, as I said, we'll start with a bit of quiet tapping. Oh, filming. Do not ask me about the filming. Do not talk to me. I'm having a nice day so far. Do not ask me about the filming. I'll leak one point. They're back today for a third day of it. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Again, not too much, not too loud, not too noisy, and not too long. Oh, I should, the microphone, it needs to go, what did I do the other day when we were tapping? I put the microphone on the stand here and swung it out of the way. We've got the new settings that we tried the other day on the microphone. So let me know what's happening. It's still, let me just check with that and make sure it's okay. Filters. Yes, we have that new setting that somebody on the stream was talking to me about the other day. It should be okay, I think, my voice. And I won my bet, yeah. At what cost? Oh, okay, zoom in a bit more. Yeah. Sorry about that. We can zoom in closer. If I zoom in too close here at this point, we get out of the area, but I'm going to carve here. Okay, sorry about that. I'll zoom in closer when I start doing more delicate work here. Which way are we going to go? Is we on the head here? I don't know. telling me, are you doing commissioned work? We aren't doing any commissioned work, and we're just working on our own publishing. There's a visitor coming this morning. I got an email the other day, last night, 2 nights ago, from Chong-san, the young boy who's carving for us. He's been working on the sushi cat's image, and he told me in the email that the key block is finished. So he's coming this morning with the finished key block, and he and I are going to sit down, pull a couple of proofs from it, see if it's okay, and then we're going to start working on the color separations. We've got Jed's original Photoshop file, and we're going to try and figure out how to translate the Photoshop file into a real set of wood blocks that will print the image. And during the time that he's been carving that key block, we've chatted about it with some of the customers in the shop here. It's been a funny thing. Just over the past few days, the same questions come up a number of times. People ask us, do you have any prints about such and such? They come in and ask, do you have any prints of Mount Fuji, whatever, which we can easily supply. But the second most common request after Mount Fuji is cats. Do you have any prints of cats? And just the last few days, there's been 2 people ask the same question. So what I've done is I pull up the computer in the shop here and I show them what's coming soon to a woodblock print shop near you on Jed's Sushi Cats series. And it's going to be dynamite. Obviously, it's going to be dynamite. So anyway, Chong-san has the key block finished for the first one. We're going to do the color separations today. He's got some wood. We've got the wood ready for this upstairs. We've been preparing for this. And production is well underway. We're at the end of August now. No, we're not. We're at the beginning of September now. He'll be carving the color blocks through the first few weeks of September. And if the printers can schedule it, maybe we'll do Suga-san, maybe I'll do it. Impossible. Suga-san will do it. We'll do some test printing on that at the end of September. So it'll be coming this autumn to a woodblock print shop near you. Sushi Cats by Jed Henry. Where am I? So I'm in the middle. Hang on. Okay. That's the trouble, I can't. We're just moving this around too much, so it's going to be in the view and out of the view. So give me a minute, because once I'm finished with the tapping, then I will set the block and zoom in, and it'll be always in view. So. Against the grain here, but I have to do it. I can't go with against the. just another minute or so, then I'll switch to the quiet chisels to clean this up. I'm not going to go around the whole thing here this morning. Dave's knocking out the lines. I don't think I had screwed anything up here. It happens, but I don't think I'm done. This is it, this is it, this is it. Okay, I think that'll be enough noise here for a minute. Let's see, a couple more places. More down here. Okay, enough noise. We'll switch now to what we call the ice ski chisels. Again, for those of you who don't know, it's a three-stage process. The first step on a block is carving the lines. We do that with the cutting, the main carving knife. All the lines get carved. Second step is taking out the oceans, roughly first, like you just saw me doing. Then the third step is cleaning up the bed of the oceans and coming up against the line to finish it all off. So it's a three-stage process. Normally, we would go through the whole block first with stage 1, then the whole block with stage 2, then the whole block with stage 3. But to avoid sitting here pounding all day long here for you, I'm switching. I did this on stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Now this one, I've done stage 1, stage 2, and I'll now do stage 3 just on this area here. And I think I can safely move the microphone back closer. The hammering is done. Get this. Let me find the focus spot and I'll zoom in as close as we can. Hang on a sec. For example, if we're going to start here, I'll put the light on. And let's zoom in. Just a minute while I find the spot here. It's going to be right here. Okay, that should do us for a while. Okay, thank you guys. Questions. You don't make mistakes, but how do you fix splinters? I don't know, we don't glue stuff in on these blocks. If we glue pieces in, then they come out once you start printing. Mistakes are made by inlaying wood. And we've got a blog post about this. Somebody's probably going to link to it in a minute. You know, when there's a chip or something, we cut a larger hole, put a piece of wood inside, flattened off, and just redo it. I don't have an example to show you here, but they're in the bot commands here. There's a blog post. I don't think we're buffing at this end. Everything's totally smooth at this end. Okay. Okay, anyway, let's get going, let's get going, let's get going. Where are we here? One place to start. You see what we're doing? We're just running up to the edge of the continent. Later on, this area in the sea will be dug out again by bigger chisels. But this is basically the finished system. Cut the line, clear the waste, do the continental shelf. Excuse me. Crunch. Bang and crunch. Ay, ay, ay. Yesterday we came up this far, this morning we're going to come around and meet it here. I can see today I've made the same mistake I made a couple of days ago when I came down here to do this, get the shop ready and start the stream. I thought finally the cool autumn weather is here. It's really nice. Zuzushi, cool. So I didn't put the air conditioner on. And I can see again I've made the same mistake. It's actually probably going to be another stinker today. And Cameron saved me. He came and just as I was giving up to go and put the air conditioner on, Cameron walked in the door. So he did the job for me to go and do it. And he's not here today, so I think, just give me a sec. Let me go over to the controls and start the air conditioner. Hang on a sec. Back in a minute. It is getting hot here. It's going to be a busy day. We've got the 3 parties scheduled and they're all sold out. I think it's 4 people. So what's the depth? So we're within the limit of the thickness of the cherry that's bonded to the top. This cherry is 4 or 5 millimeters thick, bonded to a substrate, and nowhere, unless I screw up, nowhere have I gone through to the substrate. So we're around 4 millimeters at the maximum point. Now and again I do dip through if I get a bit too enthusiastic with the chisel. And there's a couple of reasons for not wanting to dip through, and a few reasons actually. So if we go too deep in the middle of these oceans, then it gets difficult to rub the brush across the surface of the block because it's the difference in level between the bottom and the top is too high. If it's too deep, a perfectly smooth block is best. The pigment runs out smoothly. But if there's too much variation between high and low, the brush doesn't go smoothly. Another problem is that the glue we use to put these things together, the cherry and the substrate, it's a really powerful epoxy and it dries, comes up like a rock. It's really, really hard. And when I'm cutting, if I go through to the bottom layer, it means I'm going through to the glue. We've got a really hard surface. It's not like hitting a metal layer or something, but it's harmful to the chisels. You have to sharpen your chisels much more often because the glue is much harder than the wood layers. So we do it just about like this, ideally. I wouldn't want to see that substrate come up. How deep to carve? It's the old, whatever, that old joke, Abraham Lincoln, how long should a man's legs be? Long enough to reach the ground. Case by case, whatever kind of image you're carving has different requirements. I see my name in lights here, asking questions. Do I have suitable blocks for the other octopus colors? They're not made yet. I've got some wood set aside for the next block upstairs. Aoyama-san and I have been trying to sort through the pile. The problem is most of the wood we've got upstairs is pretty narrow. I haven't made it yet, but the next block, the two faces for it are set aside, sitting up there. And in fact, that'll probably be one of the next streams coming up, but tomorrow or whatever, I really don't know. We're moving forward on this, so it's probably one more day of carving on this, so I should get the next block ready. So it could be tomorrow's stream upstairs there. And if that's the case, it'll be a short stream because it doesn't take me long to do that. Just mix the glue, whop it on, put it down, and put it underneath the press. So I don't know. It's not really worth making a stream on. But anyway, yeah, the next block is coming. Deep, but not too deep. What can you say? It's experience. I mean, people ask these questions as though there was a single specific answer. How many inches? How many millimeters? Whatever. It's case by case. Situation is very fluid. So, have I sorted out my Perl scripting issue? No, I haven't, and I haven't even confirmed that it's Perl. I don't know. Yeah, just give me a second here, and I'll find out. I can throw out the question here. Just a moment. Thanks for reminding me about this. Just a moment, let me find out what I need to find out here. Okay, it's not Perl, I was wrong. Okay, what it is, it's a piece of software, a forum software that I used some years ago. It's called small case PHP large letters BB. PHP BB. And I selected it as the software for the forum, did some programming, set style sheets, and I customized the intro a couple of pages because we were getting hit by robots so much they were trying to log in. I customized it so that you had to type in a certain thing to get in there. And then what happened was my web host company has upgraded PHP to the level where this software doesn't run anymore. The HTML static files that it has made still run, but you can't log in, you can't post, you can't do any editing. And the program just doesn't run, so I can't export it first, then get new forum software, or upgrade this forum software, then import it to the new one. There are newer versions of this software out there, but this one won't run to let me upgrade it. So it's just a question of getting around to it. If somebody's got some experience with this kind of forum software, it's called PHP BB, or a better, more interesting version, write me an email, write Cameron-san an email. I can't even think about answering this today. And then maybe, yes, we can hire you or whatever to do work on this, because I just do not have time for it. It's woodblock.com/support, the pages I'm talking about. Yeah, I'll punch the link here. This is the forum that I'm talking about. And I said it's archaic software, whatever. It made sense at the time. It seemed to work very well. The forum itself looks beautiful. And people were using it. It's a really, really interesting resource. It was coming to life really, really well. A lot of people that bought the book that I published, the Your First Print book, were using this. It's sort of similar content to what we've had on the Facebook page that backs up this Twitch chat. So at the moment I said it's crashed and it won't let me export the stuff and it won't let me update it. I have to go in there and somehow manually put the new version on top, tie it into the database. And it might be a simple job for someone that knows how to do this. I just don't have the time to fool around with it. Asking about the microphone, it's not a new microphone, but yesterday's stream, 2 days ago stream, somebody was giving me some advice on filtering and compression settings, and we now have a new set of compression settings running here. which last I heard were okay. My voice is still okay, and loud noises are not the clipping or Anyway, I'm talking too much. Let me get a bit back to this. Where am I? That's done, that's done. Come up here. We're going to go around. We'll have to do a bit more tapping. Let's keep on with this. Where was it? Oh, yeah, in this corner. That's much cooler in here, much cooler. All the years living out in Ome, with the river nearby, I never ever got an air conditioner there. Still isn't one out there, So it feels a bit funny and strange and unhealthy now to be living in an environment just where we use air conditioning here all the time. We really have no choice. It's a shop. You've got to be, whatever these customers, the employees. You can't run a shop in central Tokyo in the summer without air conditioning. But it really feels strange to me to be doing this. Shouldn't be long enough, a couple more weeks, and then the clear autumn weather will be here. And then I suppose before you know it, you'll blink twice and it'll be time to put heaters on and stuff, I guess. We should be good for a month or so between those two things, the excess heat of the summer and the bitter cold. A month, 6 weeks, who knows, we'll see what we get this year. Autumn is really the best time of year. Far and away the best time of year. There's no dampness, there's no stinky hot, and there's no bitter cold. It's absolutely the best time of year here in Kanto, in this part of Japan. To do with my glasses. Oops, tipped the computer over here, sorry. I have no wingman here today. Cameron won't be in because it's Saturday, so I think Ken is trying to play the role. Well, I just bumped into something on the bench here, something funny to show you. We were talking yesterday about some small wood blocks that Harada-san, you know, the guy, the carver who made my bench, his son is cleaning house, brought some wood blocks and stuff. And we opened the bag, and I'll be going through these wood blocks. We didn't inspect them all very carefully while he was here. We figured out a cost, I paid him, and away he went. We were looking at a couple of those blocks on the stream, you know, the ones to make the money envelopes and stuff. Anyway, I got to the bottom of the bag there, looking at this block, there's wood chips and there's scraps of torn newspaper in the bottom, ready to toss it out, scrunching it up, and something hard was inside. So I open it up again, take out the bits of torn newspaper, and inside the bottom of this canvas carry bag that he brought this thing, there's 2 chisels, which just were within seconds of being thrown into the garbage. And what they are is, here's one of them. This is a broken, you can see it, it's broken. It's a U-gouge, which traditional carvers don't actually use. All I can guess is that it must have been in the guy's toolbox. He snapped it off, tossed it aside, and at that point it just got mixed with all the rest of the garbage. Or it's possible that it got broken while being jumbled up with all these wood blocks. I don't know, I have no idea. It's well used. Little shims of wood inside. I don't know if I can take it off. It's probably been a million years. Let's see if I can get the cover off here. Might come off. Hasn't been touched in. He died before I was born, so might come off. I'm 66 and he died before I was born, so I might I'll have to soak it for a bit, I think. Oh, is it coming off? No, we'll have to get to it more carefully. What happens is that the brass thing comes off, the 2 pieces of wood open up, there's a hinge at the bottom, eh? The 2 pieces of wood open up, and then you pull the metal part forward. So this is a 60, 70-year-old tool, not normally used by traditional carvers because it's a U-gouge shape. And the other one, this is actually another one that's also interesting. This is a small ice ski chisel of the type we're using right now to do this clearing. It's about 2 millimeters, I guess, not quite 2 millimeters. Very nicely shaped, very nicely curved. And down on the handle, this is it. It's a cheaper grade. This is kind of a student grade chisel. I have it similar to the one that I first got when I was first here buying tools. It's a bit of a cheaper grade. So it's a store-bought chisel. This one he would have made himself out of a piece of cherry wood. He would have made this by himself. But this one's store-bought. And when you look down at the handle at the bottom, there's something carved into it. How are you guys who can read kanji? Anybody here today that can read kanji? This is absolutely identical to some of the marks we see on the old Doi Hanga prints. And actually what it does is it says was my pointer? It's the character for Earth, which is Tsuchi, the character we use for Saturday, Doyobi. This is Do. And then the outside shape, the 4 bars, is an expanded shape of the character for well, which is I. So this is Do, I. And it's one of the symbols that they used to use for their woodblock prints. Now, Harada-san was one of the main carvers, the main carver for the Doi Hanga Company. And it's really, really curious. Why on earth would a publisher have a chisel with their name on it, and it would be in Harada-san's toolbox? No idea. I mean, the publishers hire professionals. They don't have to give student-level tools to their carvers. We have no idea. And when the son comes back to next week to talk about some of these things, I'll ask him, but I know exactly what he's going to say. He's going to say, I didn't know they were in there. And he won't know what it is. He won't have any idea about that. So when our own Doi-san is here on Monday, no relation to this Doi company, but when our own Doi-san is here on Monday, he's going to shit bricks when he sees this stuff. I'll probably give these to Doi-san. He's got a collection of correspondence and paperwork and invoices and stuff related to the Doi Hanga people. And he will happily take these as mementos of their work. They're nothing. I can't use this one because it's broken anyway. We don't use a U-gouge in my own work. So this will be a memento for Doi-san. And this one, I could use it, but I've already got a 2 millimeter. There's no reason I would need to use this one. And it's also very, very curious. The blade in this one has been placed in upside down. How do we do this? Let's see. So. I'm not sure if you can see this. Here's one of my own. The handle has a thin part and a thick part, as it does here. And normally with these things, we put the blade in so that the bevel is under the thick part. This isn't cut it's cut at a 90-degree angle at the top. So the bevel goes on that side. On this one, the bevel is on the top side. So somebody has stuck the blade in here upside down. And as it is right now, I guess you could use it. Boy, it feels really, really strange because the angles are all wrong. It should go this way. But there it is. It's upside down. So I don't know. I don't know what these are. It's no great big mystery. But they're there. A couple of small mementos from the carver Harada-san. And there it is. Doi is carved on it. It's a student-grade chisel. Really a student-grade chisel. Nothing that a professional would have used at all. You can still see. You see the scoring lines. The piece of wood. So it wasn't even planed and cleaned properly before they made the chisel out of it. It would have been absolutely student grade 50, 60, 70 years ago. Anyway, back to work. What was I doing? Where was I? Here we go. And when I saw that the other day, 2 days ago, when I saw this, that chisel was upside down, I'm thinking, wait a minute, Dave, you better all of a sudden double check yours, because it's quite possible maybe when I first started this job 40 years ago, I got something wrong, and I've been using mine upside down for 40 years. But no, this one is upside down. Wouldn't that be a joke? Dave's been using a chisel upside down for 40 years. Can't do that. Never get good work done. chisel, it's behaving like a plane here. This is actually a miniature plane. Eh? The chisel has a bevel on it, just like a plane blade. I'm pushing down like crazy from the top, and we're sliding across the surface of the wood, just planing. Otherwise the chisel would dig in and go down into the wood. It's the way these chisels operate. Most Western carpentry or something is done with chisels, and it's the flat side that's the cutting surface. They're cutting a tenon or something. And the bevel is just so the wood can fall out of the way. But this particular method of carving, we use the bevel side as the action side. It's actually a plane blade, not a chisel. A miniature plane. Not sure how to answer this. Is it a property of the wood that allows you to make a clean cut with just a push of the knife? Are you talking about these chisels we're using, or are you talking about the cutting knife when you're cutting? I'm not sure what you mean. I found I was more compressing the wood unless I was slicing. If the wood is soft, then absolutely chisels have to be super sharp. The softer the wood is, really, if it's not sharp, you just end up sponging your way through the wood. I don't really know. Not sure what to say. I know the knives have to be sharp. Yes, I know the knives have to be sharp. Again, with these chisels, there's always downward pressure. I'm not just pushing forward. There's downward pressure from my finger. You can see it, look, slice and out, slice and out. We're sort of rocking on that bevel. There's a bevel at the back here, and it ends up being shiny from being slipped against the wood. In it goes, rock and out. The tip is never allowed to sink down into the wood. Okay, I think I've cleaned all on one more bit and then let's do this. What time is it? We're okay for keep going, are we? Hard piece of, you can hear clipping. There it is, right there. There's a knot. You can see it. Little hard knot in the wood. Okay. I think we'll have to go back now then and do a little bit more persuading. I thought I had done enough persuading to give me an area that would fill the rest of this morning's stream. But It seems not, so let's go back and do a bit more. If we zoom out, you can see where I've got to. Let's have a look at this thing. The other day, 2 or 3 days ago, I persuaded this area, then we cleaned it out. Now this morning I went round that area, and now we've cleaned it again up to the lines. So it's time, I guess, to do a bit more. We'll come into the middle here, do a bit more persuading to clean this out, then clean these lines. So we have to go back to the noisy stuff for a couple of minutes here. So the audio is better, is it? People are commenting about the audio. I forget the name of the gentleman who commented the other day to give me the audio compression settings. I should look it up and find out who he is and give him a real double thank you. Because the audio settings you're hearing now are courtesy one of the viewers in the Twitch stream two days ago. Okay, anyway, now we are going to bang a little bit, so things are going to change a little bit now. It's not just my voice. I'm going to move the microphone away a little bit because we are going to do some banging, and even though we have better settings, it still can't change the fact that we're going to make some noise. We're going to bang things here a little bit, so be careful, please. So give me 5 minutes to do some tapping, and then we'll go back to the quiet stuff. It gets amplified near the bottom surface of this board has already been carved, so there's scooped out areas at the bottom. So it like turns it into a guitar sounding board, and then the room has echo. So it's much louder than it might otherwise have to be. We'll go much wider later, but that'll be with a really big hammer. It'll be extremely noisy. We'll just do that some other time. Okay, that'll be enough to get going on. Microphone back on the box. Lens back in. Glasses off. Zoom in again. Oops. I can never remember which way that zoom works. Never. Are we okay? Good. Back to the quiet life. Yeah, traditional workshop to show there's 3 or 4 carvers working in a row, some guys doing quiet work, and there's always going to be somebody banging. Always. Whatever. You want to be a carver, you're a carver. The boys should be here pretty soon, right? Well, it's coming up a bit yet, bit time yet. So today it's going to be Koizumi-san and Kawai-san and a new girl. We've got a new girl in training. This is her second day today. She's not, of course, going to be functional anyway. She's just here to hang around and listen and watch and do whatever she can to help. But she's a second-year university student, so I don't know. Don't really have high hopes for her, but let's be quiet. A hard spot here. You can hear the difference in the popping and chipping and packing noises. Yeah, it wasn't the specific connection between her being a university student, just her personality. Well, we'll see, to a certain time. That whole idea about first impressions, I still sort of believe in first impressions, even though I've been proved wrong on any number of occasions. So. Sounds like things are getting underway here. Could you see who that was? Was it Kawai-san? Koizumi-san? It's Kawai-san. We were out for dinner last night with the damn TV crew. They're just, whatever. Don't get started. It's fine. Okay, we'll finish off this batch here, the part that I persuaded to clean up. There's a bit more to go here. And we'll call it a day. I'm not sure about what the stream will be for the next few days. There will be a stream. I'll be doing stuff. It's Saturday today. So we've got at least 2 days this week scheduled for streaming. And I'm really not sure what kind of work to do. There's at least one more day. Well, not even a full day now in this block, unless it's all hammering, which is no fun. So there's maybe half a stream left for this block. I also have to prepare and glue up the piece of wood for the next block, but that has to happen up on the 3rd floor. I can't do that down here. So I can't just do a stream where I prepare that block and then turn the camera around and do this carving. It's moving the gear all up and down stairs and 3rd floor and whatever. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm not quite sure what to do. We've recently got a bunch of stuff again coming in, so maybe it'll be a combination. Do a part working stream and a part show and tell stream or something. I don't know. So if we can just leave it open, I'm not sure what I'll be doing on the next 2 streams. Sizing, I think I'm okay for sizing now because I did that emergency sizing. Was it last night? No, it was 2 nights ago. Here, let's keep careful with this. If I just take my chisel here now, if I take my chisel and run this through here, if I haven't cut that part quite deeply enough, there, if I hadn't, right, then as I bring my chisel here, pop, 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 that tip here could conceivably pop off. And in my earlier days, good morning, boy, son, hello, hello. In my earlier days, I popped off any number of those tips. So what we're going to do here now, just as an extra insurance measure, is we're going to cut this away, cut this a bit more deeply here, cut it a bit more deeply here, just to give me insurance against popping off that tip. And there's a third way of insurance. Instead of coming through here like this, that way, we can turn it around and come in from the tip, and there's going to be no stress about popping it off whatsoever. How many tips have I popped off? No idea. It just takes a while, you know, you do it, you make mistakes, you do it, you think about why the mistake happened, and eventually those mistakes just don't happen anymore, you know? But it's experience, it's experience. Okay, just last little bit here and then we'll be out of here. Good morning.
Morning.
Japanese team today.
Japanese team. Japanese team.
違う、サンフランシスコ。
違いますね。これはね。
サンフランシスコ。
サンフランシスコですね。
あ、そうかそうかそうか。
そう。ジャパニーズ大学。
He comes in with a Giants t-shirt on, so you're not quite sure what country he's, what country he's rooting for. He's proud of his baseball t-shirt collection or sweatshirt. Wait a minute, is that on or is that off? What's that? No, that's... Yeah, that stuff stays. Right, so last little bit here and then we're done. Are you ready for shutting down? So tomorrow morning stream, I'm not sure what it'll be. I think I'll plan to do one unless everything goes wrong with this filming that's going to be happening here today. We're sort of ready for a showdown with the guys this morning. We had so much trouble and fight yesterday during the filming. We'll see what happens today. If I survive today's event, we'll have another stream tomorrow. Okay, there we go. Right, let's zoom out a bit, see what we got. Oops, wrong one. Okay, it's coming along very, very well. I'm very happy with it. It's of course slow progress because I spend so little time at my bench, but overall, the blocks are coming out really, really nicely. There's no problems with the physical production so far. It's looking really, really good. The blocks are clean, the blocks are stable. I think things are carved accurately. I pasted down the stuff in a good, stable format. How long have I been working this piece? It's, I don't even know, 2 years? I don't even know. When did I register the domain name? Oh, check, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, I got to do some work here, real work. Back tomorrow, here, upstairs, in the middle. No idea. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for putting up with all this. I don't know if it's been interesting or not. No idea, but whatever. This is our work. Thanks again. Thanks for the companionship. See you next time. Am I a football fan? No, not much time for sports in this part of the world here. Thanks very much. Okay, guys. Bye-bye. See you later.